Jose or Alan, do you guys want to do an introduction, or you just want me to get started?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So my name's Courtney. I'm with MFiles. I am one of the channel account managers here. I help support Logix Care. What I'm going to do today is walk you through MFiles, just give you a general overview about how the tool works, show you how we get documents into the system, and then answer any questions that you may have. This should take a little bit less than 45 minutes, but I do have a hard stop at 4, so I'm going to try to get through this quickly. Feel free to interrupt me and ask questions, though, as I'm walking through. Otherwise, it's just me talking for 45 minutes. And you guys both can see my screen okay, right? You should see the magic of MFiles. Perfect. So MFiles actually is designed to integrate into the Windows environment. So we have an option in the tray over here. We do have shortcuts. What I really like to showcase is that when you open up this PC or my computer, however it's called on your screen, you will have an M drive. Your M drive looks like any other drive. It looks like your C drive or any other drives you have in the system. And the reason for that is that familiarity. So when you go to save something, instead of saving to your C drive, you would just save to your M. If you double click it, it's going to take you to your MFiles vault. Most people do have one vault, but there is options to have multiple if you have multiple locations or multiple entities within your organization that might need to access different types of files. So I'm going to double click on this vault again. And this is going to take you to your home screen at MFiles. So this is MFiles 2018. This was just released in December of last year. We do have a new UI. It's cleaner, it's fresher, something than what we had before. But let me walk you through with what you're looking at. So up top here are some shortcuts. You can create anything new from here, right here, and these are all customized by you, what you're creating that is new in the system. You can access anything recently accessed by you, anything assigned to you, or any favorites you have. If you jump over to the right-hand side, you do have the option to view your metadata card.
What does assign to you mean? Like, what does that button do?
So it would just filter your assignments, so that's the only thing you would see in the center of your screen.
Yeah, we're not used to working with that assignment idea, so that's why we're a bit confused. Mike, you have any idea what that means?
I'm just getting back to the office. I had to go to the garage to get my headset.
So an
I'll be
assignment.
in front of the screen in 2 seconds.
An assignment would be anything that you have been assigned to work on, whether it's something in a workflow or something that someone wants you to review. You can get assignments multiple ways. So you can be part of a workflow that you created in MFiles, or what you can do is you can right-click anything. Oh, hold on one second. And make an assignment to someone, but you can do new assignment and then assign something to this person. So just be an assignment, and then you can say who it's assigned to, so that way they can review anything in the system. Does that make sense? And see, I just assigned this document to myself, and now it's in my assignments right here. I just wanted to view my assignments.
Okay.
Here it is.
I mean, I guess we'll make a note of that. I'm not sure if it's something that we would use.
You don't have. It's not everything in the system is optional, but I know Alan mentioned that you guys would have some workflows associated with some of the things you have in the system. So
not necessarily in our storage system. I mean, we have a different software we use for that. But in this, it's mostly, I mean, our storage is just keeping all of the files per client in their appropriate areas, you know. So we'll have basically right now when we log in, we see a list of clients, and under each client there's subfolders: government, documents, tax returns, etc. And then each folder has all their stuff in order, and we name it with dates in the front so we can have it always ordered. So that's all we use right now for that. There's nothing else that we use this system for.
Does any of those documents have any requirements around them regarding, either destroying them or
what happens is we have a different piece of software we use that might reference those documents. So in other words, let's say we get a penalty from the IRS, for example. We'll put it into the storage, and also in another piece of software, we'll start a project which has we'll I guess similar to what you were just showing us here, but we'll assign to different people that they'll see a list of everything they have to deal with. So that might be on somebody's dashboard to make sure that they handle that penalty. But they would not find that in the document storage, they'd find it in the other piece of software.
Okay, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily have to use that other software with M-Files. You can actually run that workflow of what needs to get done within M-Files if you'd like. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll entertain how flexible it is. We use the other software to do a lot of things, I guess it was an example. But so let's see what else we can do in M-Files, and maybe we can do more here.
Okay. See. All right. Up top here, you're also going to see your metadata card. So metadata card is really the key through M-Files. So what metadata is just describing what it is you're looking at. So it could be a document, it could be a customer information, it could be a project. And here, this card will describe what it is and associate these properties with other things in the system with the same properties. So for example, because ESTT Corporation is tagged with metadata on this metadata card, when you look up customer ESTT Corporation, and you can do that by clicking on one of these boxes, it's going to bring up ESTT Corporation. This is their metadata card, which is just information about the company. This is basically acts like a CRM. But if you were to expand on these arrows, you can see any document associated with this customer because of that metadata. But metadata could be anything in M-Files. Doesn't necessarily have to be a document. It could be, like I said, it could be customer information. It could be contact information. If you clicked on contact name, that contact information is in there as metadata as well. Any projects that you have in there could be metadata. So the real key behind M-Files is information management, whether information is document, which is what most people associate M-Files with, but it also has non-document objects associated with the information you store in the system. You can also preview anything just by clicking on preview. The first time you open it does usually take a couple seconds to open, and then it's really fast any other time after there. You can preview anything you're looking at. You can filter for any information. You can filter what type of object you're looking for, metadata, or the file contents. And then you can also pin any piece of information onto your system too. This is flexible. You can move things around. You can pin either a document, a search, customer information, contact person. It doesn't matter what you want to pin. If it's something you want to access regularly, it acts like a favorites, and you can just right-click anything and pin it to M-Files. And to unpin, you do the same thing. You right-click and unpin.
Okay.
In the center of your screen, the top view is search. So search acts just like a Google search. You type in what you're looking for. It gives the most relevant piece of information first. Also, you can, obviously, like I said, you can filter your search if you'd like as well. These views are probably my most common thing I use in M-Files. So what views are, they're just saved searches. And we save them similar to how you would structure your folders right now. So if you were to go into your documents, you can see the next level down is different ways to structure this. So I can do customer, project, and class. So if I was to click on that, you can see all the customers I have here. I can drill down some more. That doesn't want to work for some reason. Let's go to ESTT. And here's all the projects of this customer. And then here are all the classes of documents. And there are the documents itself. So this acts just like this is just different ways to view the same piece of information. You can view it any way you'd like. And the reason we do this is just that people are more comfortable viewing things certain ways, and we can save those searches so that people are comfortable and flexible with how they view the same piece of information. And a similar real-life way you probably use metadata and how you're looking at things is when you download a piece of music onto your phone, you can view it by by artist or by album or by song title. And even though you only have one copy of that song on your phone, there's different ways to view it. We treat metadata the same way. So no matter how you like to look at things in the system, we'll show it whatever way you're comfortable with because it's tagged with that information for you to be able to find it.
Let's say in 99, if not 100% of the cases, we're looking for a specific client.
Yep.
Looking for a document for a client or looking to add a document to a client folder.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that would be an easy search, right? You just start typing the client name.
Yep.
And it would,
so you can do it a few different ways. So you can do it by the save searches so you can just go by customer. Here's your client name. You can double click that and you see everything associated with that client. Or you can just type in the client name and it's going to pull up everything associated with that client. It's also going to highlight that piece in that search too. And it's also going to highlight that search within the document as well. So if I was to preview it, it's going to highlight it there for you too. So if you're looking for a piece of information and it's a long document or something, it'd be highlighted for you. You can easily search for it.
Now I see you kind of enter things into the system by putting the document in and then filling in the class and all the stuff on the side, which I guess is how it gets associated with the client.
Yeah.
Is there what I would want to see is like when you went to customers, if you want to go back to the view where you can see customers, can you add subfolders under customers so we can kind of gather stuff a little nicer than like right now when you click on a customer, I see 100 different documents.
Right. So this would be those views. So see customer, project, and class, or customer and class. So here's the customer. Okay. Here's ESTT that we were just in. Now it's divided by confirmation order, document, proposal. Okay. So that way you can easily organize it. And that really is, when you look at the metadata,
it's all in there.
It's adding that.
That's the part that's going to be, right, that's a little new to us. But so in the metadata, you would put the customer, then the class, and then maybe even another subcategory if there is one.
Yep. So even here, like, so this is a contract or agreement because you can see we're in the contract or agreement view. And then here's that customer name. It's over here, ESTT Corporation. But this is within legal department. So if I was in the legal view, it would be in there as well. Or if I was in my contract or agreements, or if I was in, ESTT. So it didn't matter which way I viewed it, or even if I was looking at projects, website renewal, it'd be under there too. So the more properties you associate that document or object with, the more different ways you can see it. You can even do it by date too.
Right. So let's say, because I'm sure there's different ways to get files into M files, but is there a way to it makes it somewhat of a shortcut where a lot of the stuff's filled out? In other words, let's say we're in the customer view. Could I drag a document into a customer and some of the meta tags are already filled out? Or is it
You could. It depends on what features you additionally purchase with M-Files. So we do have what we call IML, which is the Intelligent Metadata Layer, and it does use artificial intelligence to fill out some of that metadata. So if I was to, I think it's this one. No, it's not.
So I guess just as backgrounds while you're doing that for us, what we do in the current system we have is probably 200 to 300 files a day we drag into the client subfolder directly.
Okay.
We don't fill out any meta tags or anything, obviously. We just drag it right into the subfolder. With the volume, a couple hundred documents a day, if we have to fill out those tags on each one, it might take 3 or 4 times as long to get the documents into the virtual storage that you have here. So that's why I'm wondering how we can get it in faster. The smart meta tags, like you mentioned, or metadata, might be the answer.
So here's an NDA that I created. I'm dragging this in. So you can see here it analyzed this document by using the artificial intelligence and suggesting some metadata tags already. So it's suggesting it already knows it's a contract or agreement. It's suggesting it's an NDA. It's suggesting the project. It actually, by clicking on the project, it actually changes the permissions and then also puts the contact person in there for you as well. You can add, CSTT, it found that already because of that project, but you can add CBH if you'd like to. You can add the contact person, Tina. So it would be a lot faster to do it that way with the artificial intelligence because it's be able to associate the content of the document with metadata you have saved in the system.
Okay. And
Courtney, they have a folder structure that they use for specific forms that they download, for
Yep.
example. So that can be included in each customer. You can preload it, right?
You can add that information into M files, yeah, as part of the metadata, so it would be saved. But instead of saving, if you had a new document, instead of saving it to whatever drive or the folder, you would just save it to M files instead. And if you decided to add the AI as a feature, it would fill out a lot of this information for you, or you would have to put it in manually if you decided not to.
okay.
Let me show you how. So obviously, I just showed you how to drag and drop a document into the system. Let me show you how to save a brand new document. So I'm just going to do a quick, open up Word. I could just say this is a proposal for a lunch meeting, and just say we're bringing in pizza, and it's $50. Let's just keep it simple. So you can save it a few ways. MFiles actually integrates into the Microsoft Office suite, so you can save right from here. You just click on the ribbon up here and save to MFiles, or you could save it other way you're comfortable with. I like to use the disk, so I just going to hit save right here. I'm going to browse to where I save it for, like I normally would. So what I would do instead of my C drive or my folder structure, I would just save to my M drive, save to MFiles, click on my vault, and then hit save.
I didn't know what client to send it to.
Well, I'll show you in a second. Hold on, it didn't save it for some reason. Let's just save to M files. Doesn't normally do this. My demo environment's been acting funny. All right, so there it goes. So when you go to hit save, it's going to preview the file and then open up the metadata cards. So you were just going to, as a dropdown that you guys create, click on your class, which is a proposal. And I did not turn the AI on this. This is just putting this in manually. And then it's going to automatically give a proposal title. You can put document date in, as today. And then you're going to pick your customer. So your customer is going to be a drop down as well. So let's just say keep this simple, keep it with ESTT Corporation. And then you would just hit create. By hitting create and going back to M files, you can see here checked out to me. Here's this document that I'm working on. It's checked out to me because I still have it open onto my system. When something's checked out, it means no one else can actually view it. I mean, no one else can make changes to it. Anyone else could view it, but it would have this red minus sign instead of a green check mark, showing that it is checked out to someone else, and then it would also say who it was checked out to and when. If you were to close the document, you can see here it's thinking and actually leaving my checked out to me because it's no longer open on my desktop and it's only in my recently accessed by me. So here's that document. I can preview it right here. Like I said, the first time you open a document in the system, it does take a couple of seconds. You can also search for it. You can put an ESTT again. And you can, search by date. So, this is the one from today. It's also highlighted for you. Or, if it's months from now and you're like, hey, I did a proposal for a pizza thing, you can just type in, pizza, and it's going to only bring up 2 of the proposals that contain that word. So and you can see here, it's not, pizza is not highlighted in the metadata because it's not there. But if you were to open up the document, pizza's highlighted right there for you.
Yeah, for us, it's always kind of the same thing. We have 5,000 clients that have the same exact documents over and over. So we'll never really search for documents. We're always going to be headed to the customer area and then seeing what's under their name and
Okay.
adding under their name. We'll never search for like stuff inside a document. Although I see that is pretty cool, that it's doing the, what's that called, OCR?
Yeah, it's
Reading
OCR.
through the
Yep.
documents to find the words.
Yeah, so when you look for
which we definitely
something,
don't have.
okay, you're going to be going into your customer name and then looking for something. Oops.
So in this example, like just the functionality, can we drag a file directly into one of those names right now?
Yes.
Could
So
you? Okay.
you could. It's going to, so if I was to take a file, let's take a file and see if we can do this.
So yeah, I guess for now, just like drag it into documents. What would it do? I think you landed on top of another one.
Oh, if I just want to drag it in documents,
yeah.
You can absolutely do that. I mean, that's what I did before. So if you just drag it into any white space, and it's gonna pull it up for you.
All right. So it has the name of the client, only class, which I think I'm understanding that class could be a subfolder, or what are we using class for?
We don't use a class is what this is. So you can see here a lot of different classes. So is it a proposal? Is it a contract or agreement? Is it a correspondence? Is it meeting information? Is it sales and marketing information? So class is just describing what this is.
Okay.
And you can create as many classes as you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, we use subfolders for the equivalent of a class.
Right.
I mean, I guess my question is, can we not have class be required if we don't want it to be?
No, class is the only thing that's required in files. Class is describing what it is you're looking at.
Right. Okay.
So without class, we don't know what this is.
Right. Okay.
So you guys do you guys want to see a workflow, or are you guys something that's not interested? Something you're not interested in?
Well, I mean, you could show us how it works. Moses, you're on the phone, right?
Yeah, I don't know really what workflow means to us, but go ahead.
Well, that's what she's going to show us, but I think there's the functionality of file cabinet and a little bit of functionality of practice. I think she's going to show us what we would call a project.
I'm confused about what the assign feature. I don't think that I'm going to be able to take care of projects and tasks.
Right.
Assignment is a task.
Yeah, but the way that we have projects and tasks is that one project contains multiple tasks.
Mm-hmm.
When one task gets completed, the next one in consecutive order gets alerted to begin.
That's exactly what a workflow is. So let me show you what that looks like in practicality. So let me get a workflow. So this is something you would design your own workflows of how you currently do them. So something like this one's an easy one. So it comes in, it has no state. This is a new marketing material. It can either be approved or rejected. So that one's actually pretty simple, and it goes through 3 steps. Or you could do something like this is the one I'm going to show you in a few minutes. This is a purchase invoice that comes in. So it comes in, it's a new invoice, and the manager can approve it. And you can see that either once the manager approves it can either go to finance or approve, or it can be rejected. And it goes step by step in the process, and it gets assigned to different people as the steps get completed. Or, they can get really, really complex, like something like this. So this would be, steps in a process. If something comes into the system that needs to go from person to person, that until it's, you decide what is done. So here you can either be signed or expired or rejected.
It definitely looks like it has similar functionality to what we use. I guess my question would be, what kind of reporting can we do on those projects or assignments or workflows, I guess is the word. In other words, we have thousands of projects at any one time, and we run reports based on what's open and what's not, and who's under each person, or different types of reports. Is there a lot of reporting functionality to those
Yeah,
workflows?
so the way we call those, most of that stuff you're describing would be views. So you can view, expiring invoices or invoices that have yet to be signed off on. Who's assigned to each thing. So that's not part. The reporting is actually graphical in M files, and it is an additional fee. But what you're describing is really just views. So you would create a view saying, reports, projects expiring in February 2018. And then, for every month of the year, so you'd be able to see what's going on. And assignments assigned to Mike, not complete. Assignments assigned to Mike that are late or overdue, and ones that are completed. You can see all those in different views.
Right. Well, I mean, I think in reality, it most likely will come down to us looking at M-Files specifically for the storage of the documents and not using the workflows. The other system we're talking about that we use for something similar to workflows, we use for a lot more stuff too, and we tie it together with the reports, including open invoices and billing. And, we put everything in there. So there's a lot of stuff we use the other software for, including what would be considered workflows. Our biggest urgency right now is we have an issue with the program we're using for storage of documents.
Okay.
Specifically, it not being cloud-based and it really just being able to handle the amount of stuff we're putting into it. We have, I'd say, probably 8,000 or 9,000 folders, which are clients and subfolders in that. And we also have a lot of users, and it's breaking what we have right now. So
Okay.
we're looking for another solution that can handle any volume.
And that's M-Files definitely can do that. And these are just options of what M-Files can do as you grow. Instead of paying for two softwares, M-File, all that workflow and that content management is part of the system. So absolutely, to use as a document storage and organize all the information you have with everyone being able to access it is definitely important. But as you grow and as you might want to see that, hey, these documents I'm doing that are part of this workflow, I'm storing M files and then I'm copying them over to this other system, that might just prevent some of that.
Okay.
That's based off your needs. That's really M files can do so much more, but based off what you're telling me, I think going into any further detail might be overkill. Do you have any other questions? Actually, I did want to show you templates too, because actually that is important. So templates can be done with any document in the system. So you can see here, if I was to look at this template, I can preview it. Like I said, it does take a second. So you can preview the document, it's all in Latin, but if you were to open it up, it would actually prompt you for some information, and it would fill that out for you. So, you would give it a title, you would, automatically would give it an ID, you would assign it to a customer, and that way, documents you're using over and over again that just need a couple of pieces of information changed, you can easily do that without having to, reinvent the wheel each time.
So like your FTD, Mike, your FTD would be something that you just plug in, you put company name, contact name, everything, and you open up your FTD, plug in where you want that information to go, and boom, done.
Exactly.
And another thing that I don't know, I kind of caught in a little late on the call, but did you explore a little bit of the database query that you're able to query any SQL database or any database that's ODBC compliant? Did you touch into any of that, Courtney?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Like the searching or IML?
No, the database query, because they use a program that their management program is a program called Practice.
Okay.
So any information in Practice I would be able to bring in two M files. So like a customer list, let's just put it this way. So whenever they're adding let's say a tax return, Mike, instead of
Hmm.
having to type the name, no, I can make that look at the practice database, and as you type, you query that information. Like I have my M files querying both QuickBooks and my ticketing system for client names or for something like that, depending on what I'm looking at. If I'm looking for a service, I'm querying my ConnectWise, my ticketing system. If it has to do with any financials, then I query QuickBooks for that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can create connectors to other systems to be able to pull in some
Well,
information.
like Alan and Courtney combined question. Right now, when we're printing a tax return, for example, file cabinet creates because our storage creates the folder because it knows it's coming. They work together. So if we're printing from file cabinet from UltraText, Alan, can I print it directly into M files if there's no folder yet for it?
Well, no, I mean that would be that's actually going to be a meta tag, Mike. So we'll create a meta tag that says tax returns 2017, and then when the user will ask, would be tax year, and then you will select their Ultra Tax 2017 in this case. Now, before we install, let's say 2018, we gotta go into M files and create that meta tags for them.
5%.
I guess you got caught on another question there.
I missed the end of what you were saying, Alan.
We need to create the meta tags before you could enter the meta tags into a document. We would have to set that. So that would be something when I'm installing. That would be a procedure on my end. That whenever I'm installing the tax software for the year, I would go into the M Files admin and set up that meta tag for you.
But the way you're describing it makes me confused again because it sounds like it's going to put all the tax returns in a bucket. I don't want all the tax returns in a bucket. I want the tax return under the client the tax return was for. I want to look for the client and see what taxes we did.
Yeah,
Correct.
you would tag it with that client name and the year and the date.
Courtney, can you make me presenter for 1 second?
Sure.
Oh crap! Phone call.
Whoa.
Alan is a very organized guy.
I'm so sorry, but my headset died, so I had to dial in on speakerphone. So let me take any document, okay? So I'm gonna open up my M files here.
I don't know. Okay, I guess I'll wait for what you do. But what I would prefer you do is open a document and then hit like print and see how you print it into M files.
You would just save it to M files.
Yeah, you just save it to M files. So
Okay,
let me just take any document. What the hell just happened? Okay. Okay. Let me drag this to one side.
Alan, in UltraText, I can't save a tax return. How would I save it to M files?
You will, well, can you export it to a PDF?
Yeah. But so I would print it to a folder and then go find it in the folder and then save it.
Remember, Mike, M files is a drive. Okay. So let me open a document here, okay? So here you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I go File, Save As, and let me go and browse.
Yep.
And Files, Logic Care, Save. Now this popped up. So your class, in your case, a tax return. So that would be a class. But I am actually doing an independent contractor. So this will go under my HR subcontractor.
Mm-hmm.
Now over here, I am putting the name that this was signed, my subcontractor, and my information. So the class will be tax return.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we'll probably, in the case of a tax return, I would have a year as one of the meta tags, so it would be 2017. And then from within M files, I could create a view for you. So let me drag this to this side here. Let me open up my M files. So I would create a view like this. So you see I got here my MSP agreements by client. Where's by client? Projects by client. So that it sorts by clients automatically, by the way. When I save any projects here, and I classify it as a project, you'll automatically go. So here, let me save this as a project. Projects. And then he's asking me for the customer. As you see, I have my customer list. This is picking up from my database. See how you have Taxleaf there? So now I'm saving this Taxleaf as a project. Now if I go here to projects by client, I got Taxleaf. And inside of that, I have that document.
Okay.
Did you
So
follow, or
basically
did I lose you in the middle?
it's just saving, instead of saving into, drilling down into those folders, it's just putting the information that you have on those folders onto the metadata tag so you can view it that way.
And the good thing as well, you want to preview it, you have it right here. Oh,
okay.
I got to highlight the document.
I mean, I guess, Alan, we have to check some functionality, like will our tax software really print to PDFs? Like I'm in it right now trying to print, and I can't figure out how to send it to a drive and not to file cabinet. It's PDF to file. No, I see it. There is a way to do it. Okay, so I can, instead of sending to file cabinet, I can choose PDF to file, and then there's a directory. So that directory I would have to change to M files.
Correct.
And see how it works from there. Okay.
Like I said, I was after this call, because I knew that this call was going to be a little bit too broad. I did speak with Courtney that after she does the demo, them that know the product a little bit more than I do, I would set up a test vault for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could actually log on to Citrix and do like saving a tax return or saving a P&L from QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Or I could
we would definitely need to test all the different things we use and how easy it is to get into M files compared to what we use now. I assume it's very similar. I mean, knowing you can drag and drop is going to be a solution for most anyway. The only difference I see, which isn't necessarily a lot of time, but every time you drag and drop, you have to choose a class. I might just do something, I tell everyone just to do document for class for everything. But that's the only thing that I see slowing down different than what we use now. Because we drag and drop and it's just there. We don't choose anything.
M-File does have an OCR and a barcode module that as long as when we're printing the document, as long as we're able to put some information on that, M-Files could read that automatically.
Yeah, I mean, I know, and you know how our system, what we do, Alan, is we have thousands of clients with the same exact documents. It's unlikely we're going to be searching for a specific document. We're always going to be searching for a client. and then seeing what's in the client folder. Like our most popular thing is to see what tax years did we do for somebody. There's nothing to search for. We got to go to the client and see, does this client have any open invoices or penalties? There's nothing to search for. We got to go to the client and see what's there. So that's what we use it for when we're looking or searching. Yeah. We got to do the taxes. Let's find the W-2. We got to type in W-2. You're going to get a million. We're going to go to the client and we're going to open a W-2. So I guess in almost every single case, we're going to go to the client and look at the documents in that client. I think M-Files is probably, well beyond functionality that we're going to use, but it's not bad. Maybe in the future we'll find some use for some of that functionality.
I mean, we got it right here. See, I got all clients. I created a view for me to give me all documents by client. So if you look at Taxleaf, you will see all the documents that we have here.
Yeah, she showed us. No, I think it's fine in its most basic form. It covers what we use, I believe. I mean, what you're showing me right now is probably the simplest thing M-Files does, and it's exactly what we use. So I can see it working. I guess the next step is, Alan, help me understand if everything can print to it cleanly, if any of our software is married to File Cabinet, or is everything we use, can we somehow print to M-Files without an issue?
From my understanding, yes, but I'll log on to everything. Yeah. I mean, anything that you could print, you could. I mean, another thing, if you could print, we could put one of those PDF printers on the computer, and you just print to that, which in essence gonna save a PDF.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess like in practice, they print invoices to File Cabinet. I assume that Practice and File Cabinet work very nicely together, but I imagine they could also print to PDF. I don't know. We just got to kind of check everything and make sure everything can get printed. And you know what I'm saying. Thompson might marry you to some of the softwares and say, well, that's because it's our software. We make it work with each other. So we make sure there's nothing we're going to run into like that, where we can't do this anymore because we don't have File Cabinet. Now, what about Alan? Did you already look into M-Files as far as like what we do with NetClient?
Yes. Courtney, correct me if I'm wrong, but external access to documents is free with M-Files, right?
Depends on how you want to use it. If you want to do basically
read-only.
So read-only is not free. There is a cost for a read-only license. You can share a document kind of like in a screening room, so a temporary access link that would be available.
Let me tell you what we.
Okay,
Maybe
I
it's
do
easiest
have
to explain what we do.
Okay.
Okay, just as fast as I can.
Okay.
Every single one of our clients has a login. They log into our software now, and they see their folder, or as many folders as we assign to them, and all their subfolders under it.
Okay.
So I can log in under my name and see my 5 companies and everything underneath those.
They would need read-only.
So that's something that could.
Yeah, absolutely, it can be done, but it's not free, Alan. But we do have it.
But do you need a license for each one of the clients, or do you?
You can do it a couple of ways. You can either do a read-only license, or you can have a concurrent license that each client could share the access and share the license. It's up to you how you want to do it.
Well, we would need thousands of these logins or licenses, so I guess concurrent would be one license for 5,000 clients.
Concurrent license, it's kind of the way File Cabinet works, well,
let's just, because I know we're going to get cut off in a second.
You could have logged in at the same time.
Yeah, but you're not going to want different clients sharing the same license because of the permissions. So you would need to purchase. Go ahead.
Well, just let us know what the most cost-effective, reasonable way for us to do this is. Like I was saying, every single client logs in and can see their stuff, and we have thousands of those. So I just want to make sure. I mean, if you tell me it costs $100 per license, then there's no way to ever do this, because we would need $500,000 worth of licenses.
Right.
I guess that's what I need to know.
Okay.
So help me understand how that piece of it would work, because it's important to us. one of the things we sell to our clients is they have complete access to all their documents, all their financial statements, all their tax returns whenever they want. If they can't find us, it's still there on the cloud for them.
Right.
That's important to us.
Now we have to put together. You can put together a quote for that, guys. I do have to run. I do have another call that should be starting now. But feel free to reach out to Alan or anyone at Logic Care who can help you with any other questions that are going on, and we can always schedule another call if you have any other questions as well.
Well, yeah, just help us understand that last thing we were talking about, and I know you gotta go.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right. Hold on, Mike. Mike, are you still here, or when she drops?
Yeah,